Sorry. So let me quickly look at that one so that we can continue. All right. So we were able to look at some of the applications, right? And then we enable some, I showed you how to create an application from scratch. So when you join a company, sometimes the company will have an application. The application does not support SSO, right? But they want you to add it as a tile. So they want you to add it as a tile here for them so that they can just open it directly from here, right? So let me go ahead and then just pull up another application called, let's say, call box. Let's see. So let's say your company has an application called Callbox. Let's say this application that the company has bought, but the application does not support SSO. Sometimes there will be some application that does not support SSO, but you still can add it to Okta. So this is how you do it. So when you come to your Okta dashboard and you go to applications, right? You go to browse app catalog and then search for what we call bookmark. Normally it will show up here for you, bookmark app, this. And then you click on add integration. And then you add the name of the app that you are trying to add to Okta. So you click here and then just type Callbox. And then the URL, you go to here and then copy the URL. So copy this URL and then paste it here. And click on that. The next thing that you can do is that you just go ahead and assign it to people. So let me just assign it to myself. And let's see if I can go back. Like I told you, some applications don't support SSO. So that's how you do it. So when you come here, you see that the application is showing up here, Callbox. And in order to make it more nicer, you have to download the logo. So you can go to Google and then get the logo of the application. And this one, you can do it for any application. So whenever you're practicing it. So I can decide to go to, let's say, Callbox. And then let me come to images and then select this and then click on save image to downloads. And then I'll come to Okta here. So this is the logo. So I click on this pencil, browse, and then click here and click on update logo, right? And then close. So now if I come to my apps and I refresh the page again, you see that I have it here. So when I click on here, click on this, it will bring me to the Callbox application here. And then I can log in with my username and then password. So that was the one thing that I wanted to sort of show you. But the AWS part of it, I did not, Damaris, do you have your AWS setup? Okay, perfect. So let me log into AWS right quick and then show you something. AWS console. The account ID will be Albert02. ID username will be Matilda. The password will be this. Sign in. And then get this one here. Okay? So I have 2, 1, 3, submit. Perfect. So I am in AWS, right? So normally when you get into AWS, it will definitely bring you to the AWS Identity and Access Management. So let's say you join a company and the company wants you to integrate AWS. I already have integrated. Let me go ahead and delete the application first. So I'll go ahead to remove this user and then I'll deactivate this application. And then all right, so with AWS, this is how you do it. You go to what we call IAM Identity Center. So when it comes to Identity Center here,
how do you get to that Identity Center?
So when you come to when you log into AWS for the first time, normally when you get here, it will bring you, let me try to see. Yes. When you log into AWS for the first time, you'll be shown this. The first thing you need to do is type here IAM. And it will show you we have IAM, we have IAM Identity Center. It's just like Azure. Yes. You can search for it. So you click on IAM Identity Center. That is one of the ways that you can get here. The other way that you can get here is when I type IAM, it will take me to the Identity Access Management Console. So this is what we call Identity and Access Management Console. This one is a little bit different. This console is different from the Identity Center. So you go to here, the left side here, the left bottom side here, we have AWS Organizations, IAM Identity Center. So when I click on IAM Identity Center, it will bring me here. So yes, normally when you get here, sometimes it has not been configured. If the account is new, you have to enable it. I'm sure it's been a while since I did it, but you have to enable it. So all right, I already have my users here. So I have some users here. Let me go ahead and remove this user. So I already created some users here. Now, when I come to applications, applications here. No, let me go to dashboard now. So first of all, I need to go to dashboard, and the dashboard will bring me here. Right? I can go to settings, and then we will have what we call identity source. But when you come to the dashboard will bring you to identity center setup. Then we have what we call confirm your identity source. Now, AWS also acts like AWS Identity Center or IAM is just like Okta. You can do whatever you're doing in Okta, exactly the same thing. So AWS is also has what we call that is also an identity provider. So what you do in Okta, you can also do it here. So like, for example, if I come to applications, I can go and search for an application. So add application, and then I'll click on, I have an application to set up. Oh, sorry, I want to select an application from here, and I can come here and then select the application and then do the SAML integration that we did in Okta. So that is the same thing. But what we are doing is that we are trying to connect AWS to Okta, so that users from Okta can access it using the SAML, right, without any issue. So you go to settings, or you click on dashboard, and then you click on what we call confirm identity source. You click on confirm identity source, it will bring you to here, to the settings. It's about the same thing, settings here. Then the next thing that we are going to do here is that we are going to click on this side here, actions. And here we have customize your AWS access portal. This one you don't need it. You just need change identity source. So identity source simply means that where should your users come from to get into AWS? So basically what we're doing is that we are going to connect a different identity source. We are going to connect Okta so that the users from Okta can come to AWS whenever, so that we don't have to go to users and then be creating the users manually, just like what we did with the other applications. But we want to automatically import the users to AWS. So that's what we are trying to do. So I come back to settings, come to actions, click on change identity source. So here, now we call identity center directory. This one is for AWS itself. Then you have Active Directory. So if, let's say, that our users are going to come from Active Directory, then we are going to select Active Directory, and then we go through the process. But we don't want to, we are not moving the user from Active Directory. We are moving the users from Okta. So we click on external identity provider. We click on this, and we click on next. So just as we did with the other applications, right? You see that it has given us the consumer accession URL, and then identity, the issuer URL, just like we have in Okta. Then we have the IDP signing URL, and then the issuer URL. So what we are going to do now is that we go to Okta, and then we click on Browse App Catalog, and then we type AWS. So we are going to search for this. You see, we have different ones. We have AWS Console Password Login, AWS Client, AWS Account Federation, and we have AWS Identity Center. We click on this one, and we click on Add Integration. Then we click on done, because Okta has done the back integration for you. So we are not going to do most of the things here. So the first thing that we are going to do is to go to sign on, as you know, sign on. And then we are going to click on edit. So you remember when we are doing the SAML integration, you have to enter the ACS URL and then the issue URL, if you remember. So what you're going to do is that you go back to the AWS console, and then you see here, you copy where we have the ACS URL. So this is the ACS URL. You copy this ACS URL, you come to Okta and then paste it here. Then you go back and then copy the issuer URL, because it's asking for issuer URL. So you paste it here. And then you click on save. The next thing that you're going to do is that you click on view SAML setup instructions, right? And then you are going to scroll down. It will give you, like in the beginning when we started the application, I told you that sometimes it will give you the directions on how to do the integration. So these are the step-by-step, right? So these are the step-by-step. So you have to get the sign-on URL. And where do you get the sign-on URL? When you come to the identity center, we have what we call choose file. So if you have the metadata, you can get the metadata. But what you can do is that you can come back to the AWS, just close this one off. Come to AWS and click on more details, if you remember. And then you copy, this is the sign-on URL. So you click copy this sign-on URL. And then you come to the change identity here. There's an IDP sign-on URL. You paste it here. The next thing that you're going to do is that you go to IDP issuer URL. So you come back to Okta and copy the issuer. This is the URL. You copy this and you come back here to the identity center. Now the next thing will be the certificate, right? You come back to Okta and then you download the certificate. Then you come back to identity center, choose file, and then you choose the certificate, open, and then you see that it's checked. Then you click on next. So basically, it's going to confirm for you. So you click on accept. You type accept there. You see that we have accept. So you just type it, accept. And then click on change identity source. So now what you are doing is that you are changing the source of the user's identity. So wait here, and then everything has been changed. So now we have the SAML 2.0. But when you look at here, it says automatic provisioning. So this is what we are also going to look at. Currently, we've learned how to set up, how to do SAML integration, how to assign applications. And I taught you how to do provisioning. So the main reason why we are doing this is even the provisioning aspect. Right now, if I go ahead here and then I assign the application to me, to myself, it will not work. Sorry, it will work. But if I come to my apps right now, and then I refresh the page, right? I definitely will have to receive, yes, there's an error. The reason why there's an error is because my account, right? My account here, this Albert is not in AWS. It's not in AWS users. So if I come to the users, you see that Albert is not here. That is the reason why it doesn't sign on. So in order for it to work, I need to add Albert to it. I have to add it manually. And as I told you that you don't have to be doing things manually. You have to be doing things, what do we call it? You should be doing things automatically. So that is what we have to enable what we call automatic provisioning. So we click on enable, and then it's going to ask you for this scheme. So when you go back to Okta, you have to enable what we call provisioning here, right? And you have to click on configure API integration and click on enable API integration. And then there's only the same thing here, base URL. You have to come to here and then copy the scheme URL. And then you come to Okta and then paste it here. The next thing is that, okay, you don't worry. The next thing that you see this / here, you have to remove it or else you receive an error. Let's leave it for now and I'll show you what the error you see. So let's go back here and then now you have to copy the token. So show token and then copy this token. We will come to Okta and then paste it here. Then we're going to uncheck this group because we don't want to import any groups. So we click on test API you see that it says error. It says base URL does not match required pattern. So basically what is happening is that when you go back here, you see that there's a /. You have to remove it. And then you can test it again. And you see that this time it has worked. You click on save. Right. So because you click on save, the next thing is that, hold on, let me go and then remove myself. I'll remove it. You have to then, as I showed you earlier, you have to then configure the provisioning. This is from Okta to AWS. So you click on edit, you click on create. Create simply means that when Okta pushes the users to AWS, AWS should create an account for the user. That is one. Update user attribute simply means that whenever I update the user's attribute, let's say the user title or the department in Okta, it will also reflect in AWS. That is the update. The deactivate simply means that when I deactivate the user in Okta, it will also deactivate the user in AWS. That's what it means. So I'll go ahead and click on save. Then now provisioning has been set up. So the next thing is that I'm going to go ahead and then assign Albert. I'm going to assign it to myself now. So click on assigned, and then this is the attribute. These are the information that it is pushing to AWS. So I'll go ahead and click on save and go back and click on done. So now let's go back and try it again. So I'll go ahead and then I'll click on AWS. So now do you see that I've been able to get into it? You say you have navigated to the AWS access portal. So now when I come to here, right, and I refresh the page, you see that when I come to users, do you see that I've been added to it and I came because of scam? Can you see my account?
Yeah.
If I click on Albert, you see that it is showing me my email name, my sales manager is here, HR. Now let's intentionally change my title. To go to profile, edit, and I'm going to change my title to be IAM manager. And then I'm going to click on save. So now let me refresh, let me come back to dashboard, refresh the page, refresh it again. And then let's see, let's go back to users and let me select my account, Albert. So now do you see that my title has changed to IAM manager?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So that is the scheme provisioning. So when we enable the provisioning, so it just pushes the user there. So the reason why I asked you and Rosanne to get the AWS was because I wanted to show you the other provisioning aspect, because so that you can understand what the provisioning actually means. Because the last time we did the provisioning with a different Okta application, but I wanted to use a different application to do it. So that's the reason why I asked you to set up AWS. All right. So today we are going to go straight up to, yes?
So is this the same as, I mean, what you've done, is it the same process with Azure or?